Hey, Kay, do you like failed recordings?
Oh, I love failed recordings.
Don't you love it when you put in hard-earned time into a recording that you don't hit R on, apparently?
Don't you just love an entire conversation that felt really good and then it's just worthless?
Gone to the void?
It's there now, but just who knows?
Live from the previous recording that's not actually recorded, this is the worst people you don't know.
Now,
our lost tapes.
It's going to be part of the lost tapes.
The ones that we literally can't release because we never recorded.
Yeah, the ones that cannot be released because not even we know where they are now.
Only the FBI heard us.
Yeah. Thank you, NSA. I hope you enjoyed that.
Maybe they contact us one day and we're like, we can give you that if you'd like.
Yeah. We'd be like, much appreciated.
Just like, thank you.
Yeah, it's like, thanks FBI for this clip that's like 10 minutes long that we can now give you.
Which, in retrospect, is worthless.
Yeah. It's one of those conversations that you're like, damn, it's so much missed content, and then you finally get it back and you listen to it and you're like, oh, I was griping over that.
It's like, oh, okay, whatever.
Yeah, it's like that. Oh, okay.
I guess, and we've done better.
But
or have we?
or
subjective, I guess.
That is very subjective. And honestly, I would say maybe.
Who knows?
But you gotta emphasis the question mark because maybe.
We're gonna hit the spike on that one.
Oh, we're gonna definitely hit a spike. There's some type of spike we're gonna hit on that one.
Oh yeah, spike right on my ass.
Yeah.
Gonna spike it, boy.
Oh, we're gonna spike it, boy. Like Spike Lee.
Spike Lee. I was actually just reading a list of essential movies that, like, apparently he updates every couple of years.
Okay.
Like, of movies every future director should watch.
Okay.
And I agree with a lot of them. And then he included The Hurt Locker. And honestly, I was like, I don't know, Spike.
I mean, like, don't get me wrong. It's not a bad movie.
It's not bad. I don't know if it's an essential movie.
I don't think it's essential.
And nothing in it caught me as like, oh, that's groundbreaking. Like,
yeah.
It was
except for Jeremy Renner.
Well, Jeremy Renner's music career breaks ground.
that's true now. Yeah.
His music career breaks more ground than The Hurt Locker.
Yeah. I mean, as soon as we get our band going,
our cover band,
our
Jeremy Renner cover band,
our only Jeremy Renner cover band,
Midget Buzzcut. We are Midget Buzzcut,
and we're gonna cover Heaven Don't Have a Name.
And the other two songs he's released.
Be prepared for a 2-hour show.
We're gonna just go back over them all the time.
Over and over and over again.
It is gonna be long-winded.
You will either love us or hate us by the end of the night.
Probably hate us.
Most definitely hate us.
We're opening for Slipknot.
We're opening for Lamb of God.
We are opening for the Juggalos. Welcome to the gathering, the Juggalos.
Welcome to the reunion of NWA. We are opening for Eazy's Ghost.
Hologram of Easy. This one still has AIDS.
This is post-AIDS Eazy-E.
Post-AIDS Eazy-E hologram.
Where Ice Cube is still not sorry about the diss track.
He's just like, I'm sorry, man. It was a pretty good diss track.
It's a pretty good one.
Sorry you got AIDS.
Oh, have fun.
Just have fun being dead. I'm gonna go make Are We There Yet?
And then in the span of time between that, while I'm still not sorry, I'm gonna make Are We Done Yet?
And then eventually I'm gonna make a movie, Ride Along.
I forgot all about Ride Along.
Oh, sorry. Before that, I'm gonna make Triple X State of the Union.
What about Triple X: The Return of Xander Cage?
Was he in that one?
I think he was in that one.
Did he make a cameo?
Probably.
Are he and Vin Diesel best friends?
Listen, he probably heard that there was gonna be a scene where Vin Diesel rides on a wave on a dirt bike with a ski underneath it, and he's like, I gotta be in that.
It's like, how can I miss this up?
How can you ever miss that?
Like, do you think Ice Cube was actually there, or do you think they had a stunt double? Or was it
a hologram?
Was it Vin Diesel's brother playing? They CGI Ice Cube's
Paul
face
Sinclair?
up. Paul Sinclair.
You think it was Paul Sinclair?
Mark Sinclair's brother.
Mark Sinclair's brother, maybe.
Vin Diesel, aka Mark Sinclair.
Or maybe it was Vincent Sinclair.
Oh.
Oh, his son.
Or maybe it was Paulina or Paula, whatever her name was.
Maybe. Maybe.
Named after Paul Walker.
I named my daughter after my dead friend.
He's not picking up his phone. It's weird. Oh, god damn it. Why do we know so much about Vin Diesel? The world may never know.
Trust me, you really don't. You really don't want to know.
That's a rabbit hole we don't feel like going down.
That is a rabbit hole that we went down once, and I really don't want to go down
Went
again.
down in a late night, and we just don't even need to go.
Oh,
into
it was a late night.
a late Xander Cage night.
Well, trust me. How do we know that his first acting credit was in a play called Dinosaur Door? You never know.
Are you talking about the greatest play of all time, Dinosaur Door?
I'm talking about the greatest play of all time, Dinosaur Door.
What was the director's name or the cast?
Crystal Fields.
Crystal Fields.
Crystal Fields.
Crystal Fields sounds like a supplement that helps you shit better.
New from Activia, it's Crystal Fields.
Just really helps that pass the bowels.
Jamie Lee Curtis is back in the commercials.
I'm Jamie Lee Curtis, and this is for Crystal Fields.
I did Halloween, and now I do yogurt commercials.
Now I only do yogurt commercials because my bowels need help.
Alongside my soul. But I'm talking about the Crystal Fields, who, when she saw
Went on to
Vin
do
Diesel...
great productions.
Oh, fantastic production. But when she saw Vin Diesel and his friend break into the theater to vandalize it, she gave them the choice, like High School Musical. Either you star in the play or I call the cops.
No, it wasn't High School Musical. It was Step Up.
It was both.
It was both?
Yeah, don't you remember?
Wait, two people vandalized in High School Musical?
In High School Musical, they get in detention and they're forced to work on the play.
Oh my god, that's right.
I can't believe you forgot
I
that.
can't believe you remembered.
I have 3 sisters. How can I ever forget?
I have 2 and I forgot.
Oh, please. I got you beat by 1.
Yeah, you got one more than me. She watched it done another 50 times.
My younger sister has seen the first 2 movies so often, I'm fairly certain she can recite the entire script.
Are we all
either
in
movie.
this together?
Because you know who we are. We're all stars. And you see that. We're all in this together.
I didn't want to continue, but you did.
Now, I wanted to continue.
Do you know what time it is?
Summertime.
Summer vacation.
That's what time is it?
Summertime.
But can we just take a moment and just wholeheartedly admit, I will admit without hesitation, bet on it, the best song of all 3 movies.
Bet on it.
Bet on it. Do you remember
No, I don't.
the actual scene when he's walking through the golf course?
Oh, yes, I do.
And
Never
he's
mind.
there? Dude, my favorite part about that is when he's kneeling in front of the little pond, and he's just like, it's no good at all to see yourself and not recognize your face. But when he splashes the water, I'm like, man, that's me. Man, that's me.
Zac Efron was breaking ground before Ted Bundy role.
Oh, God. And then during his Ted Bundy stint, he broke ground and a few faces.
And put out a great movie, quote unquote, not great.
Quote unquote. It wasn't too bad. It just wasn't great.
It just wasn't accurate.
Yeah.
It was highly inaccurate. I just think they really were like, oh shit, we got Zac Efron in this shit.
Probably. Or another thing too is that it's a movie and not necessarily like a biopic or a biography. So they're we aren't really gonna put in what he did.
Which is weird because it's if you do a movie, I feel like you should include what he actually did, not just kind of skate over it.
Yeah, but then at the same time too, I get it because Hollywood's too sensitive. And also, it's Ted Bundy we're talking about too.
Is it weird that in the movie I was rooting for him? I was like, is he gonna get out of this?
Is it weird that during the scene towards the end of the movie where Zac Efron is fucking that chick up against the vending machine and he's lifting her up, I was like, Man, was Ted Bundy's life that good?
Just like, damn, I'm jealous. Ted Bundy had it made.
Yeah, like, he got to kill people and to fuck a woman in front of a vending
And
machine.
have sex. I'm jealous.
Yeah, that's the life.
Just like, are you telling me you get to have sex and be a criminal?
You're really living the American dream, Mr. Bundy.
Mr. Bundy.
Oh, Mr. Bundy.
Oh God. No, it was an okay movie. I think he was the highlight of it, like in
Yeah.
terms of.
Because he
just his
did do a
portrayal.
pretty good job as Bundy.
Yeah, I just think overall it was a weird movie.
Yeah.
It was
The
a
two-
weird way to talk.
The two
talk
people
about
that
it.
I always remember because of they did a good job in that otherwise like kind of forgettable movie is Zac Efron as Bundy and John Malkovich as the judge.
Yeah.
Because if you remember, at the end of it, during the credits, they play actual footage from the trial,
Yes.
and like John Malkovich is the judge originally. Like while the movie was playing, I was like, oh, okay, like it's John Malkovich, you know, because he just shows up and stuff and just beats John Malkovich. But then like
Being John Malkovich.
being John Malkovich, yes. But then like during the credits when they played the actual footage from the trial, it's what ended up cementing it for me more of like, oh, he actually did a good job portraying the judge.
I mean, I think acting wise, like it was a pretty good movie. I just like I
I
said,
have issues with the story.
I mean, them even adding the part at the end, like where he like writes on the window. Like,
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to include that. Why not have it be more accurate to the actual story?
Well, I feel like the biggest detractor for the movie was how soon after the conversation with the killer,
Yeah.
how soon after that came out, this movie came out.
Yeah, and I think that took away from it because when you have the actual facts there and you have how it happened, like,
Yeah.
and then you release a movie where you kind of flub some stuff. Not
Yeah.
flub, I don't want to say that. Like where you twist it to make it more theatrical.
Yeah.
Like it takes away from what you're trying to do from the film because everyone who's watching this one probably just watched the historical
Yeah.
telling of what happened.
Yeah.
Like, and it's a harder line to ride when
Mhm.
everyone knows what, like, you're lying. Not lying, that's not the right word, but like everyone knows you're twisting what actually happened to make it more spectacular. Like,
But then the other reason why I totally get why they didn't really go too factual in telling what he did was, like, I want to say it was around March or so. I watched a movie. I think the director's name was Lars von Trier. I watched a movie that he made and premiered at Cannes this year, called the Houses That Jack Built. And first of all, I don't know if you know who Lars von Trier is.
the name sounds familiar. I probably
He
would've
made
known it,
the two biggest projects that he's known for making are one called The Antichrist and another one called Nymphomaniac.
but- Okay, I've heard of Nymphomaniac. Isn't that the
Yeah.
one with Shia LaBeouf?
That's the one. with Shia
Yeah,
LaBeouf.
it's like really uncomfortable.
It's very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
He's the director of that.
Okay.
The Houses That Jack Built is about a serial killer.
Oh god.
And over the course of the movie, it tracks his killing of, I think it was like 6 or 7 victims.
Oh gosh.
And it's not biographical. It's not biographical, I should say, at all. Like, it's not based on a true story. But the thing about it was that it was so graphic
Oh Jesus.
in its
Christ.
realism of this dude playing a serial killer that, like, and this legitimately happened, was that because of how graphical and how gory it was in its depiction of his character's killings and everything, the director got a 5-year ban from the Cannes Film Festival.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they were like, you're not allowed back here for 5 years.
See, my thing is, I don't even need it to be more graphic. Like, honestly,
No,
the
no,
movie
no.
itself, like, it did show some stuff that, like, and talked about things that, like, is very graphic and,
Yeah.
it's more about, I wish they explored more of the psyche of Ted Bundy
For sure, yeah.
rather than the relationship.
The
Like,
relationship was
It
a
took me
weird.
out of
it was a
every
weird
time.
It was a weird direction, like spin to take with it.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. It would have been much more effective if they got into the psyche because he was a smart guy.
Exactly. In the scenes where I felt most not, I don't want to say connected to the character, but I mean,
No, but
like,
more
you know,
invested in the
invested
movie.
in the movie.
Yeah.
Was when it was Zac Efron in front of the cameras, like for like the show, like showing like what Ted Bundy was actually like,
Yeah.
or in the courtroom. When he was in the courtroom, I was like, this is a really good portrayal.
Yeah.
I'm like, this
when
is an
he's
interesting scene.
like when he's defending himself, and when also the scene where he comes out of the elevator in chains, and he's like standing in front of the cameras, still
Yeah.
professing his innocence. And
Those
those
are-
were good parts of the movie.
If you want to have private moments where he might be someone else or might act a different way, I'd rather it have been exploring the mind of him, exploring
Yeah.
what's going, like why he is this way, why
Yeah.
he talks a certain way,
Yeah.
why he acts a certain way, and where this self-confidence of like being able to lie and being able to like portray a character of innocence so
Yeah.
easily. I would have rather seen that rather than this, oh, he really liked this chick.
Well, what I want to see the most isn't even
That's
anything.
all I got from it.
I mean,
all I
no,
got
no,
was
I-
he's really into
yeah,
this
yeah.
girl, and we need to watch the whole movie about it.
Well, what I want to see more than anything isn't even anything about any serial killers. It's about their children and the way
Children's-
that their children go through life, knowing that they're a
Children's like perspective is definitely an interesting one.
yeah, like considering Ted Bundy has a child,
Yeah,
had a child before he was killed. Charles Manson had 2 sons.
Yep.
One of which committed suicide, but the other
Yes.
one still lived on. I don't know if he's still alive to this day.
I'm
but-
not really sure. He
Um,
probably is, or if he happened to die, then he
Yeah.
just wasn't newsworthy.
And then there's like Hitler had children.
Yeah.
I feel like it would just be a really interesting, you know what I mean? Like it'd be a really
It's-
interesting thing to take it not from the perspective of these killers and these infamous figures, but from their children and how their children go through life dealing with the fact that one of their parents is this infamous figure.
Yeah, it's definitely the perspective of how does life go on.
Yeah. Like
You
I
know?
think I read somewhere that Hitler's children made a pact that they wouldn't have kids to end the bloodline.
I mean, it's definitely interesting. I mean, you feel bad for people who are unfortunately born into those kind of situations
Yeah.
where like it's hard to fight the idea that the person who is your father or mother or sibling or
Yeah.
spouse like is a horrible person. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, you might. I mean, what's the disease?
What's that?
Where like you get so caught up in something you start thinking it's normal.
Cognitive dissonance.
But what's the name? What's the?
What do you mean?
Oh my gosh, Stockholm syndrome. Stockholm
Oh,
syndrome.
oh,
Sorry,
okay,
I could
okay,
not
okay.
think of that word.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stockholm syndrome. You know, it's the idea of like if those kids had grown up with him as their father, and like I can talk about Hitler or even like Ted Bundy,
Mhm.
if they grew up with him and like saw him as a father figure, saw him as this person that they love,
Yeah.
when those things come out,
Yeah.
it might be a lot harder. It might honestly it'd be a lot different of a story. Where with like Ted Bundy's case, like I don't think his daughter was might have just been born when he was put to death. Like
Yeah.
or like only a couple years old when he was like found like put to death. Like
But then at the same time too, it like there is that difference. But then
Yeah.
also I kind of think that
unfortunately she grew up with a mother who loved Ted Bundy.
true.
Yeah.
But I think that another big thing is that like because like for example for his daughter,
Yeah.
I think it's on her records, like on her birth certificate, that Ted Bundy is her father.
Mhm.
And like a big thing that, you know, we as a society is that we view people who have famous or infamous parents, we view them differently.
Yeah.
Than other
People
people.
can get labeled before they've even had a life experience.
Exactly. So it's like imagine if you're just meeting his daughter.
Yeah.
And you're going into it already knowing this is the child of Ted Bundy.
I don't know how anyone can act towards those people. I mean, it's why I feel so bad for celebrities' children.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I think of any celebrity's child, like they're automatically set up to be in the limelight
Yeah.
because of who their parents are.
Yeah.
They're not really given a chance. I commend celebrities who keep their children as far away from the limelight and so far
Same.
away from like press and
Same.
paparazzi and all this that they can have a somewhat normal life.
Yeah.
Like, I commend those people because it's giving them the best chance at having a somewhat normal life if they
Yes.
don't want to be famous, or if they don't want to like get into the movie or music or entertainment industry. If they just want to have a normal life, I don't like saying normal, but like a relatively
but like
mundane,
more private, more
private,
out of the way.
mundane life.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, like I remember seeing a thing about Denzel Washington where he said that he tries to make sure that any friends he has or his family have aren't famous. He's gone on record as saying he's got no famous friends.
yeah,
Because he tries to keep his life with his son and like his, or even if he's got I don't know if it's just one son or if it's multiple
I'm
children.
not really sure.
Yeah, but I know at least he's got a son.
Yeah,
But he said that he tries his best to keep them as far away from them as possible. That he, tries to limit the amount of famous people that he interacts with to try and keep that distance.
yeah, and like I do feel bad for some celebrities who are so famous or so loved or so sought after
Mm-hmm.
that they can't live any bit of a private life. Like, maybe they live in a gated community,
Yeah.
or they live in a house that, like,
Yeah.
think about it, like, I think it was, I mean, as much as I did like him, Mark Zuckerberg
Mm-hmm.
bought all the houses around him
Yeah.
because he didn't want anyone to be able to see him from his house.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Justin Bieber, I'm pretty sure bought his, like, was it Justin Bieber? Someone bought the houses directly next to theirs
Yeah.
because they just wanted their own privacy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, how can you raise a child in that, unfortunately, like, without them knowing something is different? I mean, I look at, like, people like Beyonce and Jay-Z with their kid, like, Blue Ivy.
Yeah. They got another one too, but Blue
Yeah.
Ivy is the big one.
Yeah.
She was first.
It's like, I see that, and it's like, how do you raise a child in that and, like, teach them values that maybe you grew up with that you or instilled in you because you grew up in such a different life?
Well, but that whole thing with Blue Ivy is a weird anomaly because they literally take it from both sides of the coin, because they say that they try to keep her, as much of a normal life as they can provide for her, but then at the same time too, like they literally like feature her and they have her do all these different things.
Yeah, they have her in, like, music videos.
Yeah, and like
and
music
stuff.
video, not only like music videos, but they have. I think
They
I remember
use her name,
like
for stuff.
they use her name. They had her as a small little like feature on someone else's music thing.
Yeah.
So it's like so like someone like Mark Zuckerberg, if he has kids, it's a weird thing because it's not only is like how do you grow up feeling like something's off, but also at the same time too, it's like if you have kids. So I'm talking specifically for someone like Mark Zuckerberg or like what you were saying with like Justin Bieber, whoever who bought
Yeah,
the house
people who literally feel like they're so sought after that they physically can't feel comfortable in their own home.
Yeah, but then it also kind of affects kids that you might have, because like if Mark Zuckerberg has kids, it's like that kid will grow up without really having a sense of community and
Yeah,
having a
100%.
sense of like
I'm
sure friend like brotherhood with like neighbors,
Yeah.
the way that we normally feel that, because he bought all the houses in the area.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it's like oh, my next real neighbors aren't for like 3 blocks away.
Yeah.
And it's like, how do you so already
How do
going
you-
out the gate, it's like you're deprived certain things that are essential.
Yeah, and then it really comes into perspective of if you are depriving them of something like that, where do you balance that out? Where do you bring in a different thing? Can you balance that out? Can you teach a kid or teach someone the proper way, not proper way, like just how to interact, how to like make friends, how to live a somewhat normal childhood
Mm-hmm.
if you are depriving them of things that maybe you had or
Yeah.
things that most kids have,
Yeah.
especially when like then you put them in schools and it's
Mhm.
like social building skills
Yeah,
starts at age 1.
Yeah, like
it's
immediately, like pretty much
moment
immediately.
0.
Yes.
Like you start building social skills and it's like a big factor of that is surrounding you with people of the same age.
Yeah, of course.
So then if you take that away, or even take away the idea of normalcy, where are you stunting them? Where are you putting that block in their development, and how can you get over that, or can you get over that?
And that's also why I commend people like John Mayer, for example, because like John, admittedly, like he doesn't have kids, but I commend him, and if he has kids in the future, because I remember I saw an interview with him after the whole thing that he did with like Playboy and that whole infamous interview and all that stuff. When he stepped away from the limelight, he thought, because now he lives in a small town in Montana, and he said that what he did was like spent the first while after moving into the town getting the whole thing out of the way with everyone in town, of like taking pictures and giving autographs and all that stuff. So now they're all just accustomed that like, oh, John just lives in the town. And so like I actually really do commend that, because like if he ever has kids, that kid can grow up with like that, not only just a sense of community, but also can really grow up with like a sense of like normalcy, because like his house where he lives in Montana is he like when he's out of the spotlight, he's out of the spotlight. Yeah. Like they're not just like TMZ is taking a picture of him coming out of the grocery store or anything like that. And so
it's even like, I mean, Dave Chappelle's another one. He lives in Ohio.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He lives in just the suburbs of Ohio.
Lives in the suburbs of Ohio. He's got like 2 kids.
Yeah, and it's taking away that power of I am famous. It's taking the power of that away.
Yeah.
And I mean, I commend people who found that.
Yes.
And I think a big part of that is getting out of that scene of LA or New York, because they're so active in the you're famous, that means you have to act a certain way.
You're famous, you have to act a certain way. You're different from everybody else.
You're going to get surrounded by people at all times. If you're in a small town, or even just like a smaller city, and you happen to be famous, it takes some of that gravitas away from it.
Well, also like Chris Hemsworth. Chris Hemsworth is like one of the arguably one of the biggest stars in Hollywood right now. Yeah. And like you never hear anything about his family. His family's kept reasonably private.
Does he live in Australia full time?
I think so. Yeah. And just recently he even announced he announced that he was going to take a short break from acting because he wanted to be there for his kids and for his family. He wanted to watch them for some of the most important steps of their lives and stuff like that, which is commendable. And it's also
it might also be just the difference between American culture and Australian culture.
Well, I mean, Australian culture seems like it's much more relaxed about that.
Yeah, I don't know how they necessarily like, if it's like as tabloidy or if it's as like reality show based.
But the biggest, but at the same time, there's not really that big a difference, because whether it's Australian culture or if it's American culture, what it really comes down to with this whole idea of celebrity worship is internet culture. And internet culture is a global thing.
Internet culture is also just, it's something so hard to get away from. And you know, like there's celebrities that like, they say, oh, I got rid of my phone, or like, oh, I got rid of social media and I got rid of all this and that. And it's like getting away from culture. Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
And I'm happy you're able to do that. Unfortunately, the normal people can't necessarily.
Yes.
And it's like, and they keep you in that limelight sometimes.
Yeah.
Even if you're not on it. And it's like, I'm so happy celebrities can get away from it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I wish there was ways for everyday people to get away from it.
I also, it's one of the biggest issues that I have with the internet, because like for the most part I love the internet. I love what it does. I love in certain scenarios I love the culture, and I love like communities that it kind of fosters. But like one of the biggest things that I hate about it is how it perpetuates the cycle of
self-worth.
Not only self-worth, but self-worth, like, oh, you should worship this person, or like, Like even down to Keanu Reeves. Like
Oh,
I totally get it with the whole Keanu Reeves thing because he
He's
seems like an amazing
yeah,
guy. He seems like a super
which
nice
is
guy.
such a fucking weird like
It's
aspect.
it's a weird
of-
thing because he's even gone on record as saying that all of the worship that he gets on the internet because of people being like he's the internet's boyfriend. He says it makes him feel uncomfortable, and I understand that.
because people are literally highlighting him and worshiping him for being nice.
Well, not even just
And it's like-
that, but also just the association of like because of the fact that the internet is focused on him, whether it's because of the fact that he's nice or for anything, it literally comes with the thing of like, well, now we're looking at his life under a microscope.
Exactly.
And
But it's
anyone
but it's
gets
like
that.
one of those things where it's like normally when you think about internet culture and people we focus on, like usually there's some controversy around it.
Yeah.
Usually there is some like, oh, they're this or that, like in terms of being edgy or in terms of being like making a scene or making it like known that how they are. Where it's like with Keanu Reeves, it's like, oh no, he's just
He's just a really nice guy.
nice, wholesome guy who's just living his life.
Yeah.
He probably, if there wasn't any cameras around, wouldn't care.
Yeah.
And if there wasn't any cameras around, probably wouldn't even notice.
Yeah.
Like, and you're taking that and making it into this pedestal
Yeah.
that no human being can stand upon.
Well, it's
It's
because
like-
it's also a weird thing too. Because most of the time, you're right. You're absolutely right. Most 95% of the time, what the internet crowds around is controversy.
Yeah.
You know, good or bad, because people love because it literally feeds into one of the biggest things that people love to do, whether they will admit it or they will not, which is arguing. People love to argue. Whether you'll admit that you like it or not is one thing, but one thing that you cannot, deny is the fact that if something happens on the internet, good or bad, you've got an opinion and you're gonna voice your opinion about it.
Yeah,
And,
100%.
and it makes the Keanu Reeves thing even weirder because of the fact that since his niceness and since his level of compassion is what is bringing him to the forefront of the internet, it's such a weird thing because it's like we're supposed to be quote unquote worshiping and following this guy for a common trait that everyone can have.
Yeah, it's something that, like, how do you worship someone for something that should just be normal?
Yeah, I know. It's weird because then the sad part about it is the way that it reflects on us.
Society and
Yeah,
like,
on us
what
as a
our
society, as
values
us
are.
as individuals. It's like, what does it say about us that we worship a guy for a trait that should be normal?
Yeah, I mean, I even point to like all those pictures of him up there, like it's like all of them saying like, oh, like look how he respects women, like oh, like he doesn't
Yeah.
always like touch them right
Yeah, with
away,
the
like
arm
the
thing.
arm, like
Yeah.
the ghost arm.
Yeah.
And it's like okay, but like maybe he's just respecting the fact that like he doesn't know if they actually want him to hold them.
Yeah.
Like he might just be respecting boundaries. He
Yeah.
might just be like, and also he might also live in the culture where the Me Too movement has happened and
Mhm.
anything he does is being watched with a microscope, even though he's a great guy and even though he's
It's just the
wholesome
fact
guy,
that he's a male
he is a male
in
celebrity.
the era of women being like, this has happened to me.
But it's like that's not a bad thing.
No,
He's
not at all.
watching. But it's also the idea that like every celebrity might be taking that extra, almost too careful step of like, oh, I can't do that. Like
Yeah.
he might simply be saying, look, I don't need to touch them.
Or
They
even
might not want me to touch them.
Yeah.
I'm just not even gonna bother.
Or not even the ghost arm thing, but like when they were filming Bill and Ted 3, when they were traveling into one of the towns for filming, you probably saw the story when they were traveling into one of the towns for filming. There was a lady who had heard that they were going to be driving through her town to get to where they were going to be filming, so she had a sign posted on her lawn. It was "Post, you're breathtaking." So the sign said like, "Keanu, you're breathtaking," and he stopped, like they're driving through the town in a van. he spots the sign, has them stop the van. He gets out, walks up to the house, knocks on the door, and asks her if it's okay for him to sign the sign. So then, and she's like, "Of course, yeah, of course you can sign it." So he pulls the sign out, and quickly signs it for her, and then was like, "Have a good day." Gets back in the van, and they go on, and like the internet goes crazy over that stuff because it's like, oh man, it's another awesome, nice thing that he's done. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, but like, it's like for us, we consider that a fantastic thing, but for him, it's just something.
It might just be something.
It's
he was
just
like,
be
oh, that's a
something.
cool sign that has my name on it.
Yeah, because I think the other big thing too. But I mean, undoubtedly, the reason why the internet really gravitates to him being a nice guy.
Because there's scumbags out there.
No, not even because of.
It's because of how many scumbags are on the internet.
I mean, you're not wrong. No, but
Like-
the biggest reason I think why people gravitate so much to him and just the nice, generous things that he does is because it's, for the most part, it's kind of common knowledge about his life and what's happened to him.
I honestly, I mean, I will say this. I think the internet gravitates towards him and the nice things he does because it doesn't feel fake.
And
it doesn't feel like
not even just
trying
because,
to
well, not even just because of
win points with popularity.
with the media, with the
yeah.
Not even just because of how genuine it is. I honestly think a lot of it has to
There's
do with
a lot
the
of
fact
people
that,
out there like that though.
well, yeah, but I think a lot of it with Keanu Reeves specifically, I think a lot of it comes from the fact that people have read, because you can find it anywhere. People have read about.
Yeah, but I don't want to get into his past.
No.
I think it's
I'm
just,
not, without even getting into his past.
Yeah.
It's just people
think
really
they
kind
know
of
him.
stand behind the idea of like, oh man, this guy had such a sad past and he's gone through all of this different stuff, and yet he's still like such a nice guy. And I think that's why people really gravitate to it more, because there are other celebrities who maybe are just as nice, but don't really have as much of a microscope placed under them because of that niceness.
But it's also like the idea that like maybe those celebrities weren't as much in the limelight when those things were unfortunately happening.
Maybe.
Like
in this case, they happen to coincide.
Keanu Reeves, I mean,
he's been nice for as long as he's been around.
But he's also like, he was a 90s star.
Yeah.
Like he was an A-list celebrity in the 90s.
Well, I mean, like some of the people who worked on The
2000s.
Matrix told a story about how he was doing a certain scene.
Yeah.
And I forget exactly what scene it was, but it was in the first Matrix movie, and they said that after the scene was up, as a gift to everybody who he shot that scene with, he bought everyone a Harley. He bought everyone a motorcycle.
Yeah. It's funny. It's like funny. Like I feel weird talking about this because we're talking about how like we shouldn't be putting him under a microscope. Like I'm getting more weird talking about this because we're literally talking about how we shouldn't be doing this. Like, so I just think we should.
Okay, moving on.
Yeah.
I had said during our failed recording, when we were talking about video games, there were a couple things I want to bring up. I wanted to talk about this, kind of get your opinions on this stuff as well. Some of the biggest issues that I take with gaming nowadays. One of the biggest ones, for sure, for me, has to be the concept of pre-ordering. And not specifically pre-ordering. It's the idea of you get bonuses when you pre-order that you won't get if you get it when the game comes out. Or even and also how there's like 4 different versions of a game that will come out.
All right. I have more of a problem with the versions, like the 4 different versions or 3 different versions.
Like let's look at like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, for example.
Here, let me just, because I'm just gonna get out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Pre-ordering is not new.
No,
pre-ordering has been around for years.
I'm not even saying that it's new.
Pre-ordering with bonuses has been around for many years. I mean, it's been a pretty common thing for a lot of time. The thing I really don't like is the tiers to it, because because it's like with the tier system of it, you are telling people. I mean, granted, there are some where it's stuff like the tier system is like maybe like 2 different versions, like where it's all things you can eventually earn in the game, maybe you just get them earlier if you pre-order it. You get them when you start.
Yeah.
Can that take some of the fun out of it? Maybe, but people who want to spend the extra $20 on a different version and you get something, a couple days earlier based on how much you play, like if you want to do that, it's fine. Maybe it makes the first couple levels or first few like mission, however it is, easier for you. It's games like I'll point at like EA Madden and like all the 2K games.
I was just pointing out Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Yeah, there were like 8 versions of that.
But the reason I want to point out the 2K ones is because all the pre-order stuff has to do with these Ultimate Team stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like those mean nothing. I mean, like, but also like you're basically, I mean, because it is a form of gambling basically, because all that Ultimate Team stuff, like you get 5 gold packs of characters and you don't know what you're gonna find. Yeah, that's gambling.
That is gambling.
That's gambling.
Technically,
because you don't know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
It could be stuff that you don't want.
But Nick, it's not gambling. It's surprise mechanics.
It's surprise mechanics, exactly. But truly, that's why I don't like it. It's because it's giving you things that aren't actually rewards. It's giving you things that you could like. Yeah. But it's all based off odds, and it's all based off like chances of this, and it's like, plus you can buy all those things anyway with real world money after the fact. You don't need the bonus content to get it. Yeah. That's what pisses me off more.
No, I get that, yeah.
When for $20, you could $20 extra dollars. So normally games are like $59.99.
Yeah.
So it's
a base game is $59.99.
So it's $79.99.
Yeah.
You get 10 packs of these character cards or whatever the fuck, and that's it.
Yeah.
And those character card packs, you can buy more of them.
Yeah.
And you might not even get the characters you want or the players you want for the sports games. It's or you might not even technically get good ones. Like you might get like gold level things that like you're like, oh, he's not actually that good. It's like. But like they put a gold thing on it, so it's like,
it's more valuable.
Yeah, it's like, I guess it's more valuable. Yeah, and it's like, if it's a piece of content or something in the game that you can't get unless you pre-order it, I'm okay with it. Okay, as long as it doesn't change the game. If it's skins, or if it's like you get this gun that's equal to this other gun in the game, but it's cooler looking. Yeah. But you can only get it if you pre-order. That's aesthetic. That's stuff that doesn't change the game. It's stuff that I'm getting to Assassin's Creed Odyssey in a second.
No. Just go ahead.
Like
make a point.
Aesthetic that won't change anything. Yeah. It's why I have no problem with Fortnite. Okay. People hate Fortnite. People shit on Fortnite, and then people talk about how like it's free, but you gotta spend all this money. You don't spend any money. Yeah. Like it can be a completely free game for you. Yeah. Like spending the money is truly like for your own enjoyment of, I like these skins, I like this, I'm gonna put my money towards this. Yeah. That's why it's done so well. Yeah. I don't think it has a battle pass or anything, right? I'm not sure.
I don't think so. I could be wrong. I don't play it.
Yeah,
so
I don't play it either. Yeah. But it's like, and then you look at games like Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Base game is the complete game. Yeah. This pre-order bullshit is stuff that makes no difference to the game. Yeah. It's equipment and armor and stuff that...
Or even just, sometimes, not all of it makes no difference too. A big thing is, like, for example, I'm going to use this as an example. I pre-ordered Assassin's Creed Origins, not Odyssey, Origins. And the big thing that took me out of everything was, as a pre-order, it gave you a weapon that was equal in power to a weapon that you would get towards the end of the game. Which, the big thing that is, like, kind of drew me into Origins was with the change in combat and everything. It was like you're supposed to feel a sense of challenge. Because the one of the big things that I hated, because I'm a huge Assassin's Creed fan. I love Assassin's Creed. One of the big things that drew me away from like Assassin's Creed Unity, Assassin's Creed 3, and all that stuff was the combat was so base and so boring, like press and repeat, that Origins kind of drew me in because it was still Assassin's Creed, but it had a different fighting system that's supposed to give you a sense of challenge, and like I got to be smart of who I fight at what time.
Yeah.
But when I got into the game for the first time after pre-ordering it and getting the game and all that other stuff, I found that weapon in my inventory system that kind of gave me a sense of like, oh
edge.
Well, yeah, not only a sense of edge, but it's also like, as much as I hate it, it's gonna go through everybody's mind of like, well, why would I use all these other weapons when I've got this weapon here in my inventory system? And then it kind of just it won't ruin everything, but it really takes away, it really detracts from everything, because it's like that sense of challenge that is the whole point of the new systems and everything is gone.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, you're telling me that if I use this weapon that I got for pre-ordering the game, I'll kill this dude in 2 hits?
Yeah.
Of course I'm going to use that.
Yeah.
And it... Ooh. Tyler. It literally might be Tyler.
We should have said his name.
No. Tyler the Creator.
Okay, Tyler.
Could have been Tyler the Creator.
Yeah.
But
what I was gonna say was...
going back to your whole thing about features for pre-orders, like I get that that's been around for years.
Yeah.
My whole thing is because I remember when I first got started in playing video games, it was like when you pre-order the game, it was just the game.
Yeah.
And then I don't really have any memory of like features being included in pre-orders until around the PS3 era. Maybe I'm just oblivious about it, but it wasn't until around the Xbox 360, PS3 era that features for pre-orders really didn't become a thing. But even then, it was mostly aesthetics, and I had no problem with that. Like for example, with the Batman Arkham games.
Yeah.
Like I remember a big thing that I remember was with Batman Arkham City. If you pre-ordered the game, you got a code for the Catwoman DLC, that's fine. You know, that is something that I can be okay with.
Did the Catwoman DLC automatically come with it at some point, or like did you have to buy it?
You had to buy it initially, and then a few months down the line, they came out with the Game of the Year edition that was its price was $10 less than what the game originally was. So when Arkham City came out, it was $60, and then when the Game of the Year version came out, it was $50, and the Game of the Year edition had everything.
See, I can still see why some people might get upset with something like that.
Yeah, but it was still more forgiving for me. And then at the same time, but then besides that, everything else was aesthetic. It was like, okay, besides that, you get all these extra skins for Batman that you can play as,
which don't do anything.
No, it does nothing. Except for change the look.
Yeah. So, I think my biggest problem with it is the ones that make.
There we go. Okay. All right, we're back.
My thing is when it changes the overall game and gives you edges.
Yeah, I have issue with that too.
And that's where loot boxes comes in.
I hate loot boxes
and
so
then
much.
Like the Battlefront ones.
Oh.
Or like I just don't get where this concept of we need to sell the idea of making the game easier for people. Yeah. Like, or giving this edge to people that like never had to before.
Yeah. Well, one of the other big things that I hate about it too is not just providing you with items that give you an edge, but like something that EA does that really gets under my skin, because I already hate Origin. I think it's a really crap launcher that's not necessary. But they have tiers to it too. So there's like Origin Premier or Premium or whatever the fuck it is. But the big selling point on that, and God help me, I hate EA so much for doing this, which is like, whenever EA comes out with a game, and of course they are, because they got Battlefront, they've got Battlefield, they've got all these different like competitive shooter games. Like if you have Origin Premium, you get to play the game a full 24 hours before anybody else, which most of the time means nothing. If
Yeah.
it's like a single player game, it means nothing. All
Yeah.
it means is that you get to play the game a day early. But if it's like a competitive shooter, because people love to play those games for the multiplayers,
Mhm.
you get people who already are 24 hours ahead in
Yeah.
leveling, in unlocks, and all that other stuff. And it perpetuates this sense of like, well, I'm coming out the gate at a disadvantage because I didn't pay. I'm not paying $40 a month for this thing.
It's the same with their sports games.
Yeah.
With the Ultimate Teams, because those are all online, where you play online teams. If you, I mean, with Madden 20, like, I remember reading the one pre-order thing was you got the game 3 days earlier.
Jesus Christ.
Only if, mind you, only if you got the premium edition or the extreme premium edition.
Yeah.
There was still a bonus one, like, I don't remember what the name was, that had extra stuff and was a couple extra dollars that you didn't get the 3 days with.
Jesus.
So you still had to pay more money to get the 3 days.
Yeah.
So 3 days makes a big difference when you're trying to build this team or something.
Yeah.
Like online that is going to be better than other teams.
Yeah.
3 days makes a huge difference.
3 days makes a gigantic difference, especially if it's online stuff.
Yeah. I truly I don't get where this idea of we need to make sure people feel like they can beat everyone else just by paying an extra $20.
Oh my god.
Like, it came from. I don't get it. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I mean, I commend games like, Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah.
Yes, it did have pre-order ones, and it did have, like, tier levels to it. But it didn't give you more story. It was
no.
It was, and it didn't give you anything in online. Mind you, they did add the gold and they added the money-based things, which I don't like.
I'm gonna tell you
but
this.
It didn't hurt the story mode.
I'm gonna tell you because I pre-ordered Red Dead 2.
Yeah.
I remember so vividly. So what they did was their pre-order stuff, because yes, they had tiers. No extra story. They gave you like maybe a few items.
A horse
Early, like they gave you a horse that you would naturally unlock later in the game. They gave you like extra saddles, extra clothing items, stuff like that. The only real money thing they did was the money that you get for GTA Online.
Okay.
Because it's the same developer, they were like, if you pre-order, depending on whichever tier you pre-ordered for Red Dead 2, they were like, you get X amount of GTA money added into your GTA Online account.
GTA or Red Dead?
So GTA money was included as a perk for pre-ordering Red Dead.
Oh.
Yeah, so which was weird,
That's weird.
but I don't play GTA anymore anyway, so it really didn't make any difference to me.
Yeah, that's weird.
Like, I remember it was like
Shark cards.
Shark cards are the pay to play things for GTA Online.
Yeah.
Like, I remember it was like if you pre-ordered the Ultimate Edition, which I want to say was like 120 or something like that.
Maybe.
For Red Dead. For Red Dead, yeah, for Red Dead 2. If you pre-ordered the Ultimate Edition, you got like $3 million in GTA money added to your GTA Online character's account. Which
it's definitely so weird.
Don't get me wrong. It's very, very weird. But like, it didn't really add anything that made you feel like you had an edge. Like, because I played the game.
Then again, the online version, nothing could add an edge because of how busted it was at first.
I don't even play the online. Honestly, I don't play Rockstar games for their online. Like GTA 4, never played online. Only played the story. GTA 5, played the story. Online came out. They launched the GTA Online a week after GTA 5 came out, and I was like, no thanks. I'm fine. I don't need that.
Yeah,
which is what made it disappointing.
It's sad that this is what game companies are turning to in terms of. It's because and I've said it, and it's my biggest problem with companies being public.
Yeah.
In terms of investors.
Yeah.
Because then every single quarter they have to turn out more money. Every single quarter they have to show improvement.
Yeah.
Or else they lose investors, they lose money.
Yeah.
So they push these things that do nothing for the customer, but do everything for them in terms of just making more money.
Well, there's exceptions to it. Like CD Projekt Red.
Oh no. Like there is of course exceptions.
Like they're literally like the number one that I would have to that I really respect right now, because the big thing was that after their E3 press conference with Keanu Reeves, they came out and said, you pre-order the game, there's no tiers, there's no like I don't think they said there were any pre-order bonuses. They were like, the game's the game, you pre-order the game, and that's it. It's just $60. There's no $120 version, there's no $90 version. It's just the base $60. Yeah. You pre-order the game, and then that's it.
There are other studios. I mean, it's just unfortunately like there's just these studios that think
they get lost in the humdrum of companies like EA and Ubisoft and Rockstar. And it's unfortunate because like and that's another big thing about
it was honestly
indie games too.
I mean, but then again, that is 100% why I never played GTA Online.
Yeah.
Because when it first came out, the only way to buy things was if you spent money.
Yeah.
Like I had friends that like we tried to grind like and get money to get cool things.
It's even worse now.
It just you couldn't do it.
Oh no! It's even worse now.
Yeah.
Because I played GTA Online a couple of times, and it's a grind to naturally make the money to buy stuff. But now we're in the era of GTA Online where they're coming out with cars that in GTA money they're coming out with cars that are like $60 million. That in order to be able to get it, it's like, now I gotta go get another shark car. And then they came out with the nightclub thing where it's like, if you wanted to partake in that DLC and that expansion and get a nightclub and everything, it's like, now I gotta get another shark car. And then with the casino thing now, like there are literally people on who do GTA Online regularly who, because of the new expansion with the casino and how you bet your GTA money and everything, there are people who are coming out going like, I'm basically broke now. Yeah. And it is absolute bullshit.
It's trash.
It's absolute. Trash. It really is. And it really kind of like, because the sad part about it is like, I wouldn't care as much if it wasn't for the fact that they still make a really good game. And it's like, you can still make a really good game, but just you don't need all that other fluff.
My biggest problem with it is, and this is true for some games, but it's mainly GTA right now.
Okay.
The last two updates between the casino and then like, you could have like all these crazy cars.
Yeah.
It feels like they're putting out this rather than maybe working on a GTA 6 where they could include this.
Yeah.
And it feels like they're saying, oh, well, GTA 5 is still making us so much money because people are buying all these shark cards.
Well, maybe not even GTA 6. Like, sorry to interrupt you, but the big thing was because it was still a long while between GTA 4 and GTA 5. But that was because for GTA 4, they literally put out 2 single-player expansions that were entire stories.
Yes.
And the Ballad of Gay Tony is, honestly, I loved that better than the base game. I thought the story was so much better. I loved the characters more.
The fact that they never put out any expansion for
no multiplayer stuff.
Stuff for GTA 5 really pissed me off.
I really hated the fact that and when they even came out and they were like, we have no plans of doing single player expansion. I'm like, what are you doing? Like,
it's really annoyed me just for the pure fact that like online is so impossible unless you pay shark cards.
Yeah.
Or if you find some way around like scamming the system almost, because that was how my friends did it. And that's why we did it at first with the races. Like you all join a race, but like you just kind of let the one person win. Like you found ways. Like,
you always found ways around the system to get it.
It's not fun.
And not even close.
Like, and so we stopped doing it. Yeah. It's just, and it's like, and it shows what people's priorities are with like Red Dead Redemption.
Yes.
When the most fun thing to do online was hogtie your friends. I think that showed where people's intentions lie.
Yes.
Where there was more compilations of people running around and just hog-tying people
than like actual gameplay. Yeah,
and
it was awful.
And I think that's the perfect way to end that.
Yeah.
It's like people's priorities are not with paying money, like story within multiplayer mode, Like, unless it's really gripping story or adds
Yeah.
to like this cool thing you've done.
Well, it sucks because the priority has
People's
stopped.
priorities.
People's priorities have shifted, and the priorities of developers has shifted away from how can we give people the most bang for their buck to how can we take as much money away from them as possible.
And people just want to hog tie their friends.
That's all. People just want to hog tie their friends. Yeah.
That's all they want to fucking do.
I mean, they say art imitates life.
Or, all I really want to do in my life is just hog tie my friends.
I just want to hog tie my friends. That's it.
Yeah, I don't know what the problem with that guy is.
I'm a simple man, simple taste.
I'm a simple man now, just like to hog tie my friends.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. I like sitting out, having a nice beer, and hog tie my friends.
Oh God, for fuck's sake.
Oh man.
Well, Cade.
Yeah, Nick.
I hate us.
I hate us too.
Alright. We're the worst people you don't know.
We are.
And
we'll see you
we're
next
live
time.
from our deleted episode.
live from the deleted, not deleted episode.
Not deleted, not recorded episode.
This is the one that actually will go up.
Maybe we'll remember to record this one until
when
we look over.
Maybe when the NSA gives us back the hidden files, we'll release it to you.
Hidden
guys.
files.
The hidden files.
The lost years.
The X-Files.
The last years.
The-
of the worst eagle you don't know. These are the X-Files.
These do copyright.